Governor, you mentioned that you're a mother quite often. I am too. And I know that when you take a phone away from a teenager, it's not an easy thing to do. And it is kind of like a drug. It's an addiction for many, many young people. Are we prepared as a state, as a state of educators, to deal with the withdrawal? Because there will be withdrawal, I'm sure, in those initial days.
No, we've been sending out communications, but each school district has taken ownership of this. And the President Estrada can talk about some of the steps they took to help deal with this weaning process. The transition, I believe, coming off of summer is better than just saying on a Monday you have your cell phone, on a Tuesday you don't. So this gives a time for the school districts to communicate. There are strategies being sent out to parents so they can start dealing with this and having the communication with their students and their children, and letting some school districts have even had in their own families, cell phone free Monday. One school superintendent told me, and he said, our kids are talking to us at the dinner table at night. It's actually very nice, even at home. And bringing out board games, and his children are starting to play with each other as siblings. And so it's a world of difference, but I think parents also have to look at their own behavior. Parents are addicted. And when you're on your cell phone, when you're supposed to be having your family dinner, it sends a message that there's something more important than your child. And that's something we all need to be careful about. And so maybe overall, life will be more enriched outside the classroom as well as we promote. And we've been doing this since last summer, and earnestly this year, is this Get Offline, Get Outside initiative. Reminding kids there's playgrounds and there's community centers and there's basketball courts and swimming pools and other activities that take them out of their basements where they're spending their summer just staring at their hand in a very unhealthy way and subjected to negative messages all day long. I mean, I'll tell you, the addictive algorithms are not positive, uplifting experiences. And so your child's mental health will improve dramatically, especially if you can help them get ready this summer, reinforce at home, practice at home. So are there any other techniques that you want to share with parents?
Yeah, I think one of the messages that we always say, and it's kind of funny that in our graduation, I used the word addiction in the commencement address about that. We always have a negative connotation about addiction. Well, let's try to do some positive things. Let's get them addicted to other things, like speaking with each other, speaking with their peers. Right before we walked into this room, our executive principal, Billy Donahue, said at home his kids discovered board games all over again. So there's a different way to kind of guide the conversation. At the Board of Education, our first address this past year when we were doing the Yonder Pouch expansion to the middle schools was to speak to the parents, because that's where it has to start. Changing the culture at home helps change the culture in school when it comes to cell phones. So hopefully what this does is encourage them to get addicted to other things that are much better in life than doing this every single day.
Thank you.
And also I'll add that even listening to the students, they appreciated this school district of knowing that they couldn't just take something away and not replace it with something. And they said that they were putting out, some chess boards and some video games, and the kids are playing a little bit of Nintendo, old school, not during instruction time, but just together in cohorts. And so I think there's just a different world. And one school district was talking about how the kids want to have photos of themselves with their friends, and they can't do that without a cell phone, so they made Polaroid phones available. So the kids are kind of intrigued with old school technology. It was kind of cool again. And to be able to walk in with their photo in their hand, which is rather unusual. So there's a whole brave new world out there, and we just have to go back to sort of the roots, the simpler life, and just enjoy the experience of being a child again, because our kids aren't kids anymore. They're consuming content all day long that is taking them out of the real world and into a place that is not healthy for them, and the effects have been devastating in many families.
Great. We'll take 1 second to